Hi everyone, this is Carrie from DoubleClick. I had a lot of questions and comments about the travel mini brag book that I made for our trip to Georgia this summer. So I thought I would do some quick tips on showing you how it is. I think most people were surprised that it only took me a couple of hours. So I thought I'd give you some quick tips on how it is that I make these books so fast. The first thing that I do before I actually start anything is I get all my supplies out and ready to go. These are the envelopes that I use for this project, and these are just 9 by 12 white envelopes that you can pick up at Staples or Office Max, and they have, one side flap that opens. So I'm gonna be using 3 of these for this project. And the other paper that I use in between the envelopes is just 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock. And on this project, I've actually decided to use, Recollections came out with this cardstock, and it's already pre-patterned, it's great. So on 2 of the pages that I'm doing, 2 of the sides will already have patterns, and then I can just add patterns to the middle. So let me scoot you down and I'll show you how it is that I do it. Once I have all of my papers selected, I just have to go ahead and fold everything in half. I'll use my bone folder to make sure it has it definitely has to have a really good crease because it is going to be made into a book. And I've already done the other pages. Just showing you these 2. So once you fold up all of your envelopes and papers, I like to do mine every other. I want the cover to be an envelope, and I like one of the flaps on the front cover so that I can put either the plane tickets or something special right on the front. So this, don't seal this, leave this open. Then I like to put one of the folded cardstocks in the middle, and then I add an envelope, but what I do is now I put the seal on the opposite side. Then I'm going to add my plain cardstock to the middle of that one. And then I will add my other envelope and add it to that one. And then I will do my last piece of pattern cardstock. And so there you have the start of the book. Now on my other book, I just took my hole puncher, my single regular office hole puncher, and I use this, and I just punched each page because I forgot that I have this crocodile that probably will do it all at once, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm not sure, but it should. So make sure it's all lined up. And then punch your hole right in the middle of the crease. Okay, and it did. It punched it perfectly. And then go ahead and punch one on the bottom, because this is where you're going to punch your ribbon. You're going to push your ribbon through these holes. Okay, so there's the other hole. So now we have 2. Try and keep them lined up as best you can, because you are going to have to push your ribbon through. So I already pulled out my ribbon because I knew I was going to need a long strip of ribbon, so I just pulled one that was already off of the spool, and that pretty much will match anything, and this blue will match anything. So you're going to feed it through each hole until it comes out the back of the book. Oops, I'm doing that out of frame. There we go. And once you get it pulled through all of the holes, you'll want to run it down take the other end of the ribbon. Okay, so now this is bound. So then what I do is this is really, really long ribbon. You don't need it that long. But then you take the other end and feed it through this one, which I'm not going to take the time to do right now, and turn your book over, and this is where you would tie your knot, and then this is going to keep the whole book together. and I'll show you here. This one's already done. It's fed through the inside. This is the middle of the book, and then you tie the knot on the outside, and then that keeps the book together. Okay, now that the book is together, the next thing that I like to do is I stop here and I get all the other supplies that I will be needing. So, and I've actually already done that, but if you look, I've kind of set everything to this side of my workspace. I keep my Cuttlebug out because I like to run little strips of paper through the Cuttlebug, and then I have my little drawers and containers full of supplies that I know I'm going to be using for the book, and I'll bring them over. In this book, I use lots of journaling tags so that the kids and the grandmas can write little notes to each other daily. So every page has some kind of fun tag. So when I sort my supplies, this little drawer thing, I keep all my journaling tags. So when I'm making one of these books, I just pull this drawer out and I flip through it, and whatever colors go with the papers that I'm using, I just pull them out and attach them to the pages quickly. So with them being easily accessible, it saves a lot of time. They're right here, and I know I'm going to use one on every page, so I just leave them all in one drawer and just pick through it as I need them. The other thing that I pull out and have ready to go, and I have lots of these types of containers. This was like a clear box that envelopes came in. These are all my chipboard ready to go pieces, and I will pick out ones that I think would look cute inside the book, and I will easily be able to find these and stick them on the pages. So I do keep a couple of these out when I'm making these books. And then in one of my little divider boxes, this is where I keep all my clips. If you've noticed, like I have this big clip, and I have a lot of fun little clips that I attach all these journal tags to. So I also keep this bin out so I can easily grab my clips and have them right on hand whenever I want to clip a tag or something to the page. So that probably is one of the reasons why I'm able to do these so fast. I pull out all the supplies that I need, and I don't want to have to pull them out and put them back and try and search them again. So it's easier for me to pull everything out, and then once the paper's on, then I just start flipping through all my embellishments and gluing everything on. So these are all pulled out. The next thing that I do is I pull out my scrap paper box, and this is my scrap paper that has already been cut down, so if there was something cut on it, or I use it for another book or card, it goes in this box, and it's clean paper. And all I do is I flip through and I try and match. I like my pages to match on both sides. So if the book is open, I want to make sure that these two somewhat coordinate. So I always try and find two pieces that are going to look good together. And I would pull, say, like these two out. And I measure real quickly what size my paper is going to be. So this one's just a little bit smaller, and I write little notes so I can do it quickly. That my scrap paper is going to be, for the cardstock, 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then for the envelopes, the 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And I pick all my papers at once, and then I go over to my paper cutter, which is also, I keep it out on my counter, and I go through and I just cut everything down to size. And then after that, the only thing that you have to do is, I don't use my ATG gun on these books because I think it just uses too much tape. So I use my mini hot glue gun, and I glue all the corners along the edges, and then I put an X in the middle, and everything stays, it stays good. It doesn't come off. So I use my hot glue gun to put all this stuff together. Now these little strips that I add, what I do is I do tape these. I tape along this side, just along the bottom, and then up the other side, so that this is more of a pocket to keep either the photo or the journaling tag or, you know, whatever else you want to stick in there. And for these pieces, I keep a different scrap box. This is my long strips. These are like just my longer strips, 12 by, you know, 1-2 inch strips. And these are the strips that I use to make these little pockets. And these are the ones that I like to run through the Cuddle Bug or put like this as a rub-on on. And this is a really great way to use up my scraps. The other thing that I do is I do try and add ribbon or twine to a couple of the pages. So before I glue them down, I do look to see, do I have some scrap ribbon that I can add to this? Like this was a piece that I had already pre-cut for something else and it didn't work out, so it had been laying around. And I thought it looked cute with this paper, so I taped it to the back of the paper and then just glued the whole thing on. So that's it. That's how I make these books. That's how I make them so fast. I think the biggest key is getting everything ready before you start the project. And I find that if everything's out, I try and get it done before I put it all away to have to pull it all back out again. I just think it's easier. And I would love to know if you end up making one of these, which it doesn't have to be with these envelopes either. You can do it with all cardstock. I just do it with the envelopes to stick pieces in the middle. I would love to see if you come up with a project. Just leave me a comment and I'll come by and check it out. One other thing that I wanted to show you was on the envelope pages, sometimes I did cut the top out so that you couldn't really tell that it was the envelope. And then on other ones, I just brought it right underneath the envelope pocket so you couldn't even see it. I hope you enjoyed some of these quick tips and have a great day.